Do you love ice cream? Well, what if I told you that your favorite ice cream might be sabotaging your health? Ice cream sits near the top of many people's list when they crave a sweet treat. At first bite, it feels like a cold hug on a hot day, but not all ice creams are created the same. Some varieties overload your body with processed sugars, unhealthy oils, and artificial ingredients that do little beyond ticking your taste buds for a moment. Others strike a better balance, blending real dairy, natural sweeteners, and wholesome add-ins that can even deliver a bit of nutritional value. In this video, we will look at ice creams that rank lowest when it comes to health, explore those that blend flavor and cleaner ingredients more thoughtfully, then wrap up by sharing 2 homemade recipes you can try at home. One recipe targets a true low-carb diet, and the other offers a more flexible, naturally sweet option for anyone wanting better control over what goes into their pint. Before we begin, take a moment to comment below and let us know where you're watching from. Also, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Let's jump into it. The worst ice creams. Let's start with the heavy hitters in the world of decadent, over-processed pints. If you want to see what to avoid, these options show how loaded with added sugar, filler starches, and inflammatory oils some brands can be when they chase that perfect scoop. Ben & Jerry's. Many people love the swirl of chunks and ribbons in Ben & Jerry's flavors. But if you peel back the nutrition label, you find that a single serving delivers 49 grams of carbohydrates, most of which come from added sugars. A standard pint has 4 servings, so eating the whole pint in one sitting means you consume roughly 196 grams of carbs from sugar and starch alone. That translates to about 49 teaspoons of sugar. The ingredient list reads like a dessert roller coaster. Cream, skim milk, liquid sugar, brown sugar, soybean oil, tapioca starch, colorings, and flavorings. Soybean oil is high in omega-6 fats, which can promote inflammation when eaten in excess, and tapioca starch acts as a cheap filler that adds carbs without sweetness. The result is a sugar rush that sends your blood sugar soaring, followed by a crash that often leaves you reaching for something else sweet or worse, feeling foggy and tired. On top of that, the rapid sugar spike has been linked to weight gain, insulin resistance, and dental problems when consumed regularly. Breyers. Breyers is often seen as a simpler, lower-fat choice. Yet the classic options still rely on high fructose corn syrup in many markets, plus glycerin and stabilizers like guar gum or carboxymethylcellulose. A plain vanilla pint can list only cream, skim milk, sugar, corn syrup, and some gums. But the use of corn syrup and gums changes the game. Corn syrup contains fructose in a form that your liver processes rapidly, raising blood lipids if eaten in large amounts. Gums and cellulose, while technically safe, are added to improve texture when fat and real milk are reduced. This makes for a thinner nutrition profile with less real dairy fat but more processed additives. If you eat a full pint, you're looking at roughly 84 grams of carbs. In contrast to a pure cream and sugar mix, this version can feel heavier on the stomach, leading to bloating in sensitive individuals. Bluebell. Another grocery staple in some regions, Bluebell ice cream has a loyal following, but its highest selling flavors fall into the high sugar, high fat category with little restraint. Ingredients include cream, skim milk, sugar, corn syrup, egg yolks in custard lines, and a handful of stabilizers. A half-cup scoop of Bluebell homemade vanilla carries 130 calories, 12 grams of fat, and 14 grams of sugar. If you double up or go back for seconds, the numbers climb fast. Beyond the calories, you get a shot of refined sugars and seed oils without any meaningful protein or fiber to slow absorption. Store brand dairy desserts. Many store brands are required by law to call their product frozen dairy dessert if they fail to reach a minimum milk fat percentage. These products often swap cream for inulin, maltodextrin, or starch as bulk ingredients. You may spot labels that list inulin first, meaning it forms the bulk of the product by weight. Inulin is soluble fiber extracted from chicory root or other plants. While a type of fiber can sound positive, the digestive upset potential is high when consumed in large amounts, especially by those not accustomed to it. Then you'll find sugar alcohols like maltitol or erythritol to add sweetness without sugar grams, often totaling 30 or more grams of polyol per pint. Eat the whole container and you can expect bloating, gas, or even diarrhea. Coffee shop blends or generic diet ice creams fall in this camp. They create a low-calorie, low-sugar claim at the expense of real dairy and a smooth, simple ingredient list. Soft-serve machine mixers. If you've ever had soft-serve ice cream from a convenience store, you might have tasted a chalky background alongside the dairy notes. That comes from powdered milk solids, hydrogenated oils, corn syrup solids, and casein peptides. It flows through a machine where heat kills bacteria, then freezes in a spinning chamber. But the mix you add is full of emulsifiers and bulking agents. A typical soft-serve mix can deliver around 25 grams of carbs per cup, with up to 20 ingredients before flavorings. Even if you love the whirl of the machine and the nostalgic appeal, this option sits low on the list for health value. Ice cream sandwiches, bars, and prepackaged cones often pad their ice cream with air and fillers, including gelatin, polysorbates, and artificial flavors to make up for a lower milk fat content. The wafer or cone adds refined flour, vegetable oils, and more sugar. You get a handful of carbs, a small dose of dairy, and a long list of additives. A popular brand may offer a no-sugar added version, but then replace sugar with sugar alcohols, soluble fibers, or stevia, leading back to potential gut issues. Choices that combine taste and cleaner ingredients. Now let's shift to options that marry taste, creamy mouthfeel, and cleaner labels. These picks may still contain sugar or fat, but they limit processed oils, avoid high fructose corn syrup, and steer clear of long filler lists. You'll find brands in this group that matter when you want an occasional scoop without lifting your blood sugar through the roof. Häagen-Dazs. A classic in the premium category, Häagen-Dazs sticks to a short list: cream, skim milk, sugar, egg yolks, natural flavors, and sometimes vanilla bean. A standard scoop yields roughly 14 grams of sugar and 17 grams of fat. Compare that to the 4 teaspoons of sugar and note there are no gums or syrups. That makes for a smooth texture without the extra baggage. If you eat a cup, you get 28 grams of sugar. The fat content slows absorption, so you won't spike as quickly, though moderation is still key if you're watching carbs. Talenti Gelato. Talenti packages itself on being clean and simple, with gelato or sorbetto in clear containers to show off colourful layers. The ingredients for the gelato usually read milk, sugar, cream, egg yolks, and a natural flavouring such as fruit puree or nuts. In a half cup, you'll see about 18 grams of carbs and 12 grams of sugar. You're paying more per scoop, but you get richer flavour and fewer stabilisers. A scoop or two on a warm afternoon can hit the spot without weighing down your system. Rebel. Rebel is a newer brand aiming at keto eaters. Most pints carry 0 grams of sugar and about 4 grams of net carbs per serving. They use cream, egg yolks, chicory root fiber, milk protein concentrate, carob bean gum, and monk fruit extract. Sugar alcohols stay under control, and real dairy fat replaces any need for added oils. If you eat a half cup, you get around 8 grams of carbs, but nearly no sugar. The fiber inulin does get high placement on the ingredients list, but it serves to replace carbs rather than bulk the pint with corn syrup. Some people still feel a shift in digestion if they are sensitive, but compared to high polyol desserts, Rebel often feels smoother. Enlightened. This brand splits the difference between ice cream and frozen dessert. Their labels read milk, cream, sugar, egg yolks, fiber, often soluble corn fiber, chicory root fiber, natural flavors, and a few stabilizers like guar gum. A scoop shows around 150 calories, 11 grams of fat, and 8 grams of sugar. Net carbs average around 10 grams per serving. You do get some fiber, which can help slow absorption. The sugar comes from cane sugar, so you avoid the fructose rush of corn syrup. Overall, the experience leans closer to a premium ice cream than a diet substitute, at least in taste and texture. High sugar, high fat premium ice creams. Premium ice creams promise a richer taste by using extra cream and sugar. Instead of simple milk and sugar, they add more egg yolks, heavy cream and flavor concentrates. A scoop may feel smooth and full on the tongue, but that richness comes from a larger share of saturated fat and added sugars. Regularly eating foods high in these ingredients may raise your risk of health problems over time. Saturated fat is a type of fat found in cream and butter. In the body, it can raise levels of LDL, sometimes called bad cholesterol. High LDL levels can deposit fat on the walls of blood vessels, making those walls stiffer. Over time, that process can lead to heart disease or stroke. Added sugar in ice cream spikes blood sugar after eating. The body responds by producing insulin, which helps move sugar into cells. If this happens too often, cells may stop responding well to insulin. That condition is known as insulin resistance. It can develop into type 2 diabetes over years. Because ice cream tends to be a treat, people may not think about these effects. Enjoying a small scoop now and then is fine for most healthy adults. The danger comes when a rich dessert becomes an everyday habit. Having high-fat, high-sugar ice cream several times each week can add up. Extra calories from sugar and fat can lead to weight gain if you do not burn them off. Carrying extra weight also raises health risks. To keep this risk low, consider portion size and frequency. Try sharing a scoop or using a smaller bowl. Choose lighter flavors that use more fruit and less cream, such as sorbet or frozen yogurt. Those options still offer a sweet treat with less saturated fat. If you make ice cream at home, you can swap part of the cream for low-fat milk or unsweetened fruit puree. You can also reduce added sugar by using just a bit of honey or maple syrup. Halo Top. Halo Top burst on the scene as a low-calorie rival, using milk protein isolate and sugar alcohols instead of full cream. A pint ranges from 280 to 400 calories depending on flavor. Net carbs usually sit around 20 grams for the entire pint, with about 12 grams of sugar. They sweeten with erythritol and stevia. Texture is lighter, though fans claim it satisfies a sweet craving without the calorie load. Some report a slight cooling sensation from the erythritol, but overall it's a practical way to enjoy ice cream on a diet plan. So delicious dairy-free. For those avoiding dairy, this brand uses coconut milk or almond milk. Ingredients include coconut cream, cane sugar, tapioca starch, gar gum, sunflower lecithin, and natural flavors. A portion shows around 12 grams of carbs with 6 grams of sugar. The coconut fat offers richness and the starch plays a small role for texture. Avoid if you have trouble with seed oils, but for many it's a solid pick, free of milk proteins. DIY options for better health. Even with cleaner labels, commercial pints often hide a handful of ingredients you may not want every time. Making ice cream at home gives you full control over what goes in. You decide which sweetener, whether to add nuts or fruit, and how much salt to use. You can craft a version for strict low-carb goals or a more flexible cream and honey twist. Below are 2 base recipes, one for true keto, one for a naturally sweet treat that works for most diets. Keto-style ice cream. Now let's discuss how to make keto-style ice cream. Ingredients: 2 cups heavy cream, 4 large egg yolks, 1 cup allulose or erythritol monk fruit blend, pinch of sea salt, 1 teaspoon pure vanilla extract. Optional add-ins: toasted pecans, crushed walnuts, cocoa nibs. Directions: in a medium saucepan, heat the cream until it just starts to steam. Do not boil. In a separate bowl, whisk egg yolks and sweetener until smooth and pale. Slowly pour a small stream of the hot cream into the yolk mixture, whisking constantly to temper the eggs. Return the combined mixture to the pan and cook over low heat, stirring continuously until it thickens enough to coat the back of a spoon, around 170 degrees. Remove from heat, stir in salt and vanilla, then let cool to room temperature. Chill in the fridge for at least 2 hours, ideally overnight. Churn in an ice cream maker according to manufacturer instructions until it reaches soft serve consistency. Transfer to a freezer-safe container, press a piece of parchment or plastic wrap onto the surface, and freeze for another 4 hours before serving. Allulose works because it browns lightly and closely mimics sugar, but it does not raise blood sugar. If you use erythritol, be aware that it can leave a slight cooling effect and may crystallize if stored too long. Choose monk fruit blends for a more rounded taste and fewer digestive effects. Naturally sweet honey vanilla ice cream. Now here's the recipe to make naturally sweet honey vanilla ice cream. Ingredients: 2 cups organic heavy cream, 1 cup organic whole milk, 2 large egg yolks, ½ cup raw honey, pinch of sea salt, 1 tablespoon pure vanilla extract. Directions: in a saucepan, combine cream, milk and honey. Warm gently until the honey dissolves. Do not let it boil. Whisk yolks in a bowl. Slowly ladle a little warm mixture into the yolks, whisking to avoid cooking the eggs. Pour the yolk mix back into the pan and stir over low heat until the mixture coats a spoon lightly. Remove from heat, mix in salt and vanilla. Let cool, then chill in the fridge for at least 4 hours. Churn as above, then freeze until firm. If you want texture variations, stir in chopped fruit, nuts, or dark chocolate chunks after churning and before the final freeze. This version uses honey, which has trace minerals and antioxidants you'll miss with refined sugar. It also keeps a shorter list of ingredients: cream, milk, eggs, honey, salt, and vanilla, so you know exactly what you're eating. Tips for success: always chill your base thoroughly before churning. A warm mix will not pick up air properly, leaving a dense texture. Use high-fat dairy for creaminess. The fat slows sugar absorption and delivers a smoother mouthfeel. Adjust sweeteners to taste. If you prefer a less sweet dessert, cut the sugar or honey by 10 to 20%. Remember that the chilling and freezing dulls sweetness, so balance accordingly. Add mix-ins at the end of churning. Fresh fruit swirls or nut pieces get buried if added too early. Store ice cream in the coldest part of your freezer. Keep the container away from the door to avoid temperature shifts that cause ice crystals. Ice cream can be a daily treat or a once-in-a-while indulgence. The difference lies in what goes into your bowl. Mass-market pints aim for maximum flavor at the lowest cost. That often means high fructose corn syrup, filler starches, and inflammatory seed oils. You end up with a sugar bomb that raises blood sugar and leaves you chasing energy dips. Some supermarket diet desserts cut calories but swap sugar for sugar alcohols and fibers that can upset digestion. They solve one problem, overconsumption of sugar, and create another in the gastrointestinal tract. On the other hand, premium brands such as Häagen-Dazs, Talenti, Enlightened or Rebel focus on a shorter, cleaner list. They rely on real dairy fats, minimal sweeteners, and natural stabilizers. Many keep sugar levels in check or replace them with monk fruit and limited polyols. That makes for a slower rise in blood sugar, more stable energy, and fewer additives. You can still enjoy the creamy texture and rich taste without overloading on processed ingredients. If you want full control, homemade ice cream is the way to go. By crafting your own recipes, you decide exactly how much sugar or alternative sweetener you use, which dairy fat you include, and what flavorings or mix-ins you add. Whether you follow a strict low-carb protocol or prefer a naturally sweet honey version, you'll know precisely what is in your dessert. The next time you reach for a pint, read the label. Check sugar grams and serving size. Look at the ingredient order. The first item by weight is the one you'll eat most of. If corn syrup or inulin sits at the top, remind yourself that you pay for texture with additives. If cream or milk appears first, with sugar and perhaps egg yolks next, you're closer to a simple combination that your body can process more easily. Ice cream can be both comforting and delightful. By choosing wisely, you can keep it as a healthy part of your diet instead of a hidden sugar trap. Give the recipes above a try and fine-tune them to your taste. You might find that homemade scoops become your new favorite over store-bought pints. Thanks for sticking around as we uncovered the worst and best ice creams and walked through 2 simple homemade recipes. Next time you're eyeing that pint, take a quick look at the label and pick options with fewer ingredients and natural sweeteners. If you give the recipes a try, drop a comment and share your results. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more easy kitchen tips. I'll see you next time. Stay cool and enjoy every scoop.